Well, hey, we are a used car family. And what it means to be a used car family is that you go out and when you need a new vehicle, you search for a used car, right? Because used cars are better deals, right? And so about 5 years ago, we decided my wife needed a better way to get to work and back and needed something with four-wheel drive. And we've had a Subaru or two, and they're kind of nice. And so we decided, let's go down and we'll start looking for Subarus. So we looked for Subarus, and we didn't find much. So we went down to the dealership, and they had some on the lot there. So we're comparing. We have this Subaru, and okay, it's like a 2013 or 2012. And then we go into it had a number of miles and a price on it, and then we went inside and we saw the new ones. And of course, the new ones are always nicer than the other ones, but I'm never going to buy a new car because you pay the price of driving it off the lot, right? Obviously, always heard that. It's like, well, how do you actually figure out whether buying a new or buying, like, what is the apples to apples comparison? And I could never really figure it out. And so about 5 years ago, I figured out the way you do this is you do it by calculating how much you pay for every mile you're going to drive the vehicle. And so I call it cents per mile. And so I made a little website over the past week or so. So Dan's going to do this because it's kind of a little bit of a hard thing to calculate. It's like too much to explain. So I'm going to explain it real quick. Let's see. Yeah, we'll duplicate the screen. We'll pull up the website. But the idea is this, is how much does it cost? How much am I going to pay to drive the miles that I'm going to have on this car? So currently, a car is going to be good for about 200,000 miles. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take 200,000, we're going to subtract how many miles the car has on it. And we're going to take, and then, because we're looking for dollars over miles, we're going to take the amount you're going to pay for it, and we're going to divide by that 200,000 minus the number of miles, which is the expected life of the vehicle, right? So if it's new, it's just 200,000, so you're dividing. And so what I did is, and you can see this chart, the idea is that the miles between like 0 and 100,000 are more valuable than the miles between 100,000 and 200,000, because like the first 30,000 miles, everything's paid for essentially by the warranty. So those are the most valuable miles. And the next like 30,000 to 100,000, those are the next, because you're not gonna have a lot of issues, but then you hit 100,000, and there's usually this bump, something goes wrong, and then your costs just increase after that. So this is the general idea. Come back, check this out. You can go to centsper.com, and that's the website here. So go ahead and close that. So here on the left-hand side is the car that we were looking at. And this is a Forester, and it had, let's see, it has 0 miles. So this is a brand new one. $30,000, 0 miles. I'm going to get 200,000 on it. That's going to work out to 16 cents a mile over the life of the car. Now, the used car with 57,000 miles on it, costing $22,000, is 15.4 cents per mile. Now, do I want miles 60,000 through 200,000, or would I rather have all of them? Because they're about the same price. And suffice it to say that with this method, this used car guy bought a new car. Right? It was, yeah, thanks, Bill. But it just made sense. Literally sense. Right? It ended up paying 0.6 cents per mile more to drive a brand new car than they would drive the other one. So at the particular time we bought them, it just happened to be that used cars were really at a premium at that window of time. A lot of times we'd find a used car and we were finding them, maybe you're going to get one with 200 or 120,000 miles on it, and you're going to be paying like 8 cents a mile. It's a great deal, but you're going to deal with a little bit more headache because there's more miles on it. Now, to finish the story, I went to the dealership the other day and I said, well, hey, what if I just traded in my car and then got a new one, right? But maybe they would give me a great deal. Maybe they're looking for that particular model or whatever it is. And so I went in, and so there's another little fee used to sell your vehicle. And so the vehicle currently is 88,000 miles, and they were going to give me $13,000 for that car. So if I sold the car at this moment, I would have ended up paying 21.6 cents per mile for all the miles that I've currently driven. Otherwise, meaning I am better off keeping my car and driving it for the rest of the lifetime. But now I can know when I sell this, whether or not I can kind of calculate what's that price that I want to sell it for, that I can either, maybe I'm only going to charge somebody 14 cents a mile or 13 cents a mile, I'm going to sell it because those miles maybe aren't quite as valuable in the long run. But at least it gives me a place to start. So if you're ever buying a car and you want to compare apples to apples, there is that little hotness factor in the upper right-hand corner. It gets on one of those damn inside there. You can edit the stuff. You can either choose if you're buying or selling. And it gives you a really great way to determine, yeah, there you go. It'll be more creative. So yeah, you see that. Now you want to go to the website and check it out. So anyway, a really super fun way if you want to buy a new car and figure out what makes sense to you. Yeah, it doesn't. By the way, okay, so that is a single page application written with Vue and beautiful using text. There's no back end, it's just text site.